you know.
Well, Trump just blew past. He just
Right.
the one thing that we'll have to say about him is he said, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and my people wouldn't give a shit. He actually is an adjudicated rapist on Fifth Avenue. A court of competent jurisdiction, a judge said by any common definition of the word rape, you raped that woman.
This is the dressing room one?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that may have happened, but I mean...
But a jury in a court said it did.
That fucking means nothing to me, because I know what they know, which is nothing. They know two people said two different things about something that happened in the 90s and of which there's no witnesses or tape.
Well, you know
so
what?
Look, I hate Donald Trump as much as anybody, but I can't say for sure I just know that. Just because 9 people said they think that, I can't.
First of all,
but yes,
they had more evidence. In other words,
did?
Yes. So she told me
what was
this
the
happened.
What was the evidence?
Other people that she told contemporaneous with it.
Well,
which whatever. A jury said that he
you know
did.
What? You know more about this case than apparently I do, and maybe if I knew everything, I would be completely.
I know that a jury.
Yeah.
I tend to have more faith than most people in juries. I think most of them really try to weigh what's there, and I do know that a jury. But now I get too technical here, but by a preponderance of the evidence,
right?
It's a little bit of a different standard in a criminal case. It's beyond a reasonable doubt.
I'm admitting I didn't know that there was like evidence. I just thought it was he said, she said.
All right, folks, get ready because things got intense when Bill Maher sat down with James Carville. And it didn't take long before the conversation turned sharp. Carville jumped right in, saying that while not every Trump supporter holds extreme views, those with such views often seem welcome in Trump's circle. Naturally, that stirred a lot of reaction. Carville continued, describing how the GOP has shifted from traditional conservatives to a group fueled by right-leaning populism. He pointed to figures like Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy, suggesting they're all competing to sound more bold than Trump to win over the base. But Maher didn't ignore the left either. He took a broader view, criticizing the far left for being equally intense in their own way, focused on rigid beliefs, online shaming, and group loyalty that, in many ways, mirrors the very political culture they oppose. And here's what stood out. Both Maher and Carville agreed on one tough reality. Political talk in the U.S. has gone way off course. It's not just Republicans versus Democrats anymore. It's turned into a deep divide where opposing views are seen as dangerous. Yes, even more than foreign threats. This wasn't a calm chat. It was a clear and serious discussion on how extreme party loyalty is pushing aside reason, thoughtful solutions, and any space for honest conversation. So stay tuned. There's a lot to unpack here.
There is a genius to his madness, and the thing I always say about Trump, you have to remember, he's stupid and crazy, and they're two completely different things. And this is like the crazy part works for him because he's without a mechanism to edit or to pull back. So, as my friend Jimmy always says, insanity photographs. You can't take your eyes off him. Obviously, whenever they put him on TV, the ratings go through the roof. And that's why insane people are charismatic. You can't look away. So when he does all this, I mean, not just sexual stuff, but certainly the sexual stuff, it's like, I'm going to own, no one else in the world would even think of this as a strategy. And he has no strategy. It's just what he feels. He's all id. But to own that, to own being this kind of guy, and half the country likes it. Or at least it's not a deal breaker because they feel like it's honest.
At least he's honest. He says what he thinks.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to. And the thing really like is he tells you it's okay if you hate other people. And he validates what that guy says. I like because he says what I think.
Well, he plays on the fact that his people think that your people hate them and look down on them and see them as deplorables. I mean, I think they take.
You know, there's some truth to that.
Oh, there's a lot of truth to that.
And I'm as good a Democrat
Yes,
as
you
the next
are.
person. But you hear this shit, so I don't know if we ever talk.
Their latest sit-down wasn't just two people venting about politics. It was a sharp reminder of how deep this divide has become. They both pointed out how real discussion and respectful disagreement are practically gone. These days, your political stance isn't just about how you vote. It defines your entire social identity. Step slightly outside your party's lines, and you risk being pushed away or ignored. Maher, known for calling out the extremes on both sides, summed it up clearly. Politics is no longer about convincing people. It's about showing off. It's turned into a performance of moral superiority, a constant battle over who's more loyal to their side. On the left, there's a strong focus on staying perfectly aligned with every belief. On the right, it's often about bold statements and pride, different style, same intensity. Carville didn't hold back either. He said people now focus more on passing political loyalty tests than actually supporting helpful policies. Media platforms, which once aimed to inform, now mostly stir up strong emotions. Instead of making people wiser, the news often just fuels division and frustration. The goal is no longer understanding. It's to keep viewers locked into their own narrow views. And the result? A complete breakdown in compromise. Today, trying to find common ground is seen as a weakness. Opposing political views aren't just disagreements. They're treated as threats. That's how far things have gone. Both Maher and Carville warned that if this continues, there may be no way back. The country could remain stuck in endless division, where winning an argument matters more than solving real issues. But they didn't just point out the problem, they offered a challenge. If we truly want to protect democracy, we have to leave our comfort zones. We must be willing to hear perspectives we don't agree with. Because if we don't, the divisions won't fade, they'll only grow. So no, this wasn't just another debate. It was a powerful call to wake up and pay attention.
Confesses to them. And like, I got rid of the FBI director because there was a lot of pressure on me. Like, yes, that's your interior monologue. There's a lot of pressure on me because the FBI's looking into me for good reason. You don't say. So I invited the Russians in. I mean, like, it's so beyond it. This is not
the Russian ambassador showing him top secret shit. He was showing a guy in Bedminster. Look at these.
But I mean, he does one a day, or he did when he was president. Like something that only a nut would do. It's amazing to me that we lived through those 4 years, because when I look back on it, and of course the Trump people say, "Oh, you know, you have Trump derangement syndrome," and yeah, he blew up the world, right, Bill? I don't. You're right. He didn't blow up the world. I still think he could. Okay, is that completely crazy that I think a crazy person could blow up the world? No.
The shit that he did is like stunning.
I'm saying, no.
The documents case, if you stop and you think about it, like one time,
I could read 1,000 tweets that are just insane that just went by. I remember there was one that said he was mad at China, and he said, I hereby, like he's the king, I hereby order all American companies to immediately, work on a plan to change he was like ordering them to get out of China. I hereby order. And again, that's just insane that nobody else would even think to do that. But he doesn't think. That's his insanity and his attraction to people.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, history eventually finds out. They find this asshole Pius XII. They found the letter where they told him they were gassing.
The Pope during World War II?
Yeah. All right, we know from history he's been outed, I guess is what you would say.
Right.
Do you think, with all the history is known, would you guess that the Russians have compromise on Trump? Or that's just liberal factors?
No, I have always said that the Russian hoax theory is a hoax. Plainly, there was something going on between Russia and Trump. It was not perhaps, first of all, I always thought
This man's a seasoned expert in American politics. He's been through it all and knows the game better than almost anyone out there. And he's not here to be gentle. He laid it out clearly. In politics, the opponents you stand against are just as important as the allies you keep close. That's not being negative. It's the honest truth about how influence works in Washington. We're in a time where political loyalty is treated like some kind of moral scoreboard, but Carville cuts through the noise. Politics isn't about making you feel good. It's about results. And if you want results, you need to know who's truly with you and just as clearly who's working against you. Now here's where it gets intense. Carville issued a serious warning to Democrats. Don't underestimate Donald Trump. Yes, there are legal issues, controversies, and constant news coverage, but even with all that, Trump remains a major force with voters. He has an unmatched ability to connect with people who feel unheard and left behind by those in power. Carville's message, don't repeat past mistakes. Dismissing Trump before didn't work, and doing it again might lead to the same outcome. If Democrats keep seeing him as a joke, they risk missing how deeply he still resonates with a large part of the country. More than that, Carville pointed to a key weakness in the Democratic strategy. Too many party members focus on being morally correct rather than thinking strategically. They treat every small win as if the game's already over. Meanwhile, Trump continues turning criticism and setbacks into momentum. His real strength isn't about specific policies or plans. It's about channeling frustration. He takes opposition, public pressure, and even political pushback and uses it to grow his support. That's why, even with everything going on, his base remains solid and loyal. Carville's message is direct. Winning in politics isn't about proving you're the most righteous. It's about knowing how to play the game. Trump can be beaten, but only if Democrats stop underestimating him. In today's divided climate, understanding who stands in your way is absolutely essential. Carville isn't just offering suggestions. He's raising a serious warning. Ignoring it could come at a cost. Thanks for tuning in. If you appreciated this in-depth look and want more thoughtful political insights, be sure to hit like, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you're always in the loop. Your support helps keep this conversation going. See you next time. There's much more to come.